Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the wonderful show that is ESL Pro League, live from the Intel Esports Arena. We have finally made it to the last 2 days of Pro League. My hair is still not giving me any breaks, but the man that always does is the lovely Jake Elton.
Hello.
How you doing, Jake?
I'm doing good. I've been subbed right back in for a full day this time, so very interesting. You know, the birthday boy Benjamin Doughty, he's taken ill, so he's going to be backstage today, just doing a bit of observing. Yeah.
You've traded roles. He's done a snods, and he is going to be sleeping on us today. You excited to come back to the broadcast?
Oh, yeah, I'm buzzing. Can't wait for the games, Jack.
Absolutely loving it. Well, first of all, we'll take a look at the overall standings and see how the teams have been doing this far into Pro League. Jake, what have been your thoughts, obviously, watching the games from behind the observing PC?
Yeah, I mean, it's been an interesting one. You know, the clear standouts are FaZe really not living up to their full potential. I mean, I think already they've failed to get into the live finals.
I believe so.
They're going to be quite annoyed at that. We can see AGO, they're really struggling at the bottom there. Not really the first season of Pro League they would have hoped for. So yeah, it's been an interesting one. Obviously, Astralis still playing to the best of their abilities. Super professional team, even online, just absolutely banging everyone out.
Yeah, and we saw that transition over, obviously, at IAM Chicago recently, walking away with that first place. A very dominant victory over Team Liquid in the final. They looked like the much better side when it came down to the crunch. They're just having a go as well. It's unfortunate for them because they started to get a little bit of momentum back towards the later stages of the season. We also saw that from Windigo, that have done quite nicely, all things considered, to move out from that pretty much guaranteed relegation zone to now get themselves at least up to 10th. That's a good season from them.
Yeah, I mean, a go. If they don't pick it up today, they could be straight a gone from Pro League.
Yeah, which is going to be rough because the team started to get a bit of momentum going and then was just picked to pieces by Virtus Pro and just removing players. Didn't go too well from them. Let's have a look at the schedule, though, and see if we will be getting some of the Polish action today. To kick it off on the B stream, it's going to be HellRaisers versus Heroic on Inferno and Mirage, Jake.
Yeah, going to be an interesting one. HellRaisers have just picked up Hobbit, obviously. I'm pretty sure he's playing today. So that's an interesting addition to make. So we'll have to see how he does there. Heroic just had a 5th to 6th finish at CS Summit. They did, in fact, lose to NRG, who went on to win the tournament. So, you know, it's a bit of a silver lining there, but definitely going to be an interesting game. Heroic obviously playing just to avoid that direct relegation out of Pro League. So sort of just clinging on for their lives, really.
Yeah, a lot to hold on to for them. For Space Soldiers, though, that we're facing off next versus Heroic, pretty much both of the games we have opening up versus Heroic are must-wins for both of those two sides. They want to try and secure themselves as extra points, get themselves into a position. Space Soldiers, I believe they have around 6 games left so far this season in Pro League, so any points they can get are a must, really, to try and have that Turkish side at the live finals.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, Space Soldiers and HellRaisers are neck and neck in terms of the standings, so both of them are going to be wanting to 2-0, and at the same time, they'll hope the other team slips up.
Yeah, that's going to be a little bit of a race against each other. Finally, our last match of the night will be G2 going up against AGO as well. So we will get to see the Polish side. They're also going to be playing on the A stream with the initial game versus Space Soldiers. They have a double bill of games today, and they need some points just to try and get out of the automatic relegation zone. Is it likely? I'm not really sure at this point.
Yeah, I mean, that they're probably hoping their best shot is really against Space Soldiers in that opening game. But G2, they've looked decent in Pro League, have had some internal issues at the moment. You know, there's some rumors about maybe Existence and Smiths being removed from the lineup, so they could be a bit rocky today. They could maybe squeeze some points out there. Yeah,
because we saw that come out, obviously, the idea of the addition of, I believe, hang on, I forgot the name.
Jax.
There we go. There he is. Jax from NVS Academy, of course, at the time, back in the Elite Series, which is interesting, because if you sort of take away the aspect of sort of really Existence that was on form in that roster. He actually looked good individually in terms of fragging power recently, which is a bit of a surprise. Yeah. Returned to sort of his older style, but he always was the tactician, right? He was the brains of the operation. He's now gone. At that point, with the players you have left, they're all sort of young guns with firepower, but there's no real IGO at core. So that means, obviously, Shox has got to take up the mantle.
Probably will fall to Shox again. I mean, Smiths as well didn't look too bad. He didn't look amazing, but I think he did his job fine. But yeah, I mean, it seems as though they've decided to go for a younger project, you know, just believe in the youngsters, and, you know, hopefully it can pay off within 6 months, a year maybe. Because, to be fair, they've been very lackluster with this new lineup. You know, Existence has come back and it's was all hyped up, but it's really come to nothing so far.
Yeah, it's not really sort of been a huge jump to form or anything too crazy. Definitely not looking like the existence of old, but there was some potential there. However, they have decided to cut that short. The interesting nuance with that is, though, Kenny's now actually re-signed for a longer contract, which is a bit bizarre if you think about the fact that originally he declined to. So potentially now favouring the chance with a newer roster?
Yeah, I mean, maybe he believes in something now. At the same time, where else is he going to go? In the French scene, it's a bit of a mess at the moment. That Vitality team, they've just lost their analyst apparently, so yeah, the French scene is a mess at the moment, and Kenny S, he really needs to improve himself, if I'm honest. He's been sort of the same player for the last 3 or 4 years, and he hasn't really adapted to the new CS that's come about. You know, players are caught on to how he plays, and he can't get away with the tricks he used to bring out.
Yeah, it is rough. Unfortunate stuff for Kenny S. Obviously needs to try and get with the times and adapt a little bit if he wants to keep himself in the current scene. But let's get into the state of things. The opening matchup we are going to have here, HellRaisers versus Heroic. Now, really this one is important for HellRaisers. It's just about them trying to get a win here. We're in the last 2 days of Pro League, so at this point we're pretty much through the bulk of the games. There is just a couple left to go, so securing your last few points is critical.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like we said, they're just about ahead of Space Soldiers, so they're really just trying to keep that distance, you know. Maybe if Space Soldiers slip up today, they can sort of just bridge the, or increase the gap a bit. And yeah, I mean, they have been looking decent, it has to be said, and with the addition of Hobbit, I mean, they should be pretty strong today.
Yeah, it's actually a huge talking point as well, because the potential firepower you have of Hobbit versus a player like Bondic, right, is we sort of got into a point where Bondic had kind of stagnated.
Sure.
You know, we had the brief period on Tyloo where he kind of went away for a bit, came back, looked like he was refreshed for a little while, but it kind of plateaued. And since then, we've seen the team sort of fall into the trap. Sometimes Bondic maybe not having the firepower they need. Hobbit, in terms of firepower potential, can be absolutely ridiculous. But the question I think still lies there as well, what other changes need to be made with that roster? Even with Hobbit coming in, we're still seeing the debate about Dead Fox, potentially the fact that, you know, could there have been a different way to solve this problem?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I guess they'll have to see how Hobbit plays out. I mean, obviously he's an incredible young talent, especially, like you said, compared to Bondic. There's an absolute world of difference between skill there. I'm sure they probably won't be thinking about any changes as of yet. Maybe just seeing out Pro League in the next few tournaments and seeing how it works out with this new lineup. But yeah, sure, there could be some discussions about maybe making another change.
Yeah, potentially so. We'll have to see how the roster now gels. Let's have a look at the odds from Betway, though. We can see what they're thinking about the matchup. Obviously, HellRaisers being favoured. You agree with that?
Reasonable. Yeah. I mean, Heroic, they've been a bit dodgy this Pro League. Haven't really lived up to the sort of up-and-coming stars that they looked to be in these previous seasons. You know, they really looked like they were dishing out some interesting results, but it's sort of stagnated, if we're honest.
It's rough as well, because it did sort of seem like once the rebrand went on with Freiburg coming into the team, there was potential for, you know, a sort of a bit of a generation shift with the new leadership there, possibly revitalise the team, but it just felt like it didn't. They started losing results you felt like they would win, really, and it's quite bizarre that sort of they have fallen into the trap they are, considering the start of the season didn't look too badly. Towards the mid-portion, they had just fallen off.
Yeah, it just seems a bit stale, really. You know, there's not too much innovation coming out. Just a bit lackluster, really.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty awful to see. Obviously, Heroic, if at that point they aren't able to find anything else, they're really in quite a bad position considering where they are currently.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about roster moves. Personally, I don't think Freiburg's looked too bad in this roster. He's probably brought a decent amount of experience and maybe calm the younger players. But yeah, I mean, they're going to have to do something.
Yeah, they definitely need to try and revitalise the team in some way, because in terms of what they're doing right now, it just isn't sticking, and it's not really going to work out well, especially when you face off versus HellRaisers going into this. And also, as opening matches go, if this is your debut game with Hobbit in the team, the scary factor is there. It is sort of going to be the honeymoon period.
Exactly, yeah.
Everyone's going to be happy. They're going to come in fresh. HellRaisers. I mean, especially if you think for Angel, right? In terms of his individual performance, he's had a great season. Been leading by example, tactically and also individually in terms of his firepower. So now to have someone like Hobbit there to sort of rely on, take a little bit of weight off the rest of the team's shoulders, the damage they can deal and how happy they'll probably be going into those matchups now is going to be scary.
Yeah, I mean, we see it time and time again. Just one little change and the entire team's spirits are lifted. They play a completely different kind of Counter-Strike, and yeah, I mean, if you want to compare the two teams' morale, we could see night and day between Heroic and HellRaisers here. HellRaisers just running around doing their thing, and Heroic could just look a bit lost, but we're going to find out any second now, I believe.
Yeah, almost ready to get underway with the action here, which should be a fairly exciting opening match. Obviously, 2 best-of-1s to see how this is going to go. It's the Pro League format, so if we do see a win in overtime, it will be 2 points for the winning team and 1 point for the losing team. And points are everything this time. So hopefully, these teams can try and close it down, no matter what fashion, in regulation, because they need to try and maximize that point gain.
Yeah, absolutely. That is a interesting point to bring out. You know, what do you think about that little rule?
I think it's good. I think it does actually reward you a little bit because obviously you're pushing it over that threshold, right? It's otherwise what you have there is we can just have draws in the league, but then it can sort of throw things into a bit of disarray. It does work out quite well. Normally, if a team gets into that position, you'll see the better team take it in overtime the majority of the time, and it does work out quite well. I think it's a good addition to the league.
I believe G2 are the only team currently who haven't had a single overtime win or loss, I think. So that's an interesting one.
It is pretty crazy. It's definitely a change from what we expect, but we are ready to get underway with the opening matchup, and it is going to be HellRaisers versus Heroic. Inferno will be the opening map in these 2 best-of-1s today.
Yeah, interesting nades already coming out for the side of HellRaisers. Probably going to end up going into a little B execute, just smoking off CT and cores. A lot of damage going off onto Freiburg there. It's a heavy stack at the top banana for Heroic. Really want to keep onto this control, but they've already had 2 players dink down, and there we go, Asilian's gone. Now, I mean, they've still got 2 players at B, but they're both 1 touch from death.
Yeah, very low. 2 HP and 12 HP respectively there. No smokes, anything towards the site to actually ward off this push either. But Estag going to find the opening pick. Jack keeps it going as well, with 2 absolutely spectacular headshots there to deny the push. From a round that looked like it was going to be HellRaisers just bursting into B, it's now started to slow down a lot. I mean, you've got 2 players there towards the A site, but Mertz is just hiding in Boiler.
Yeah, we saw Issa sort of wrap round Arch there and he found a kill, but yeah, like you said, Mertz has sort of managed to get round between everyone. I'm not sure if Hobbit's going to realise it.
This could be very awful for Hobbit here. With the timing, peak stack down towards Banana, but Mertz was already in position. Woxic is the only one to attempt to save the day now and bail them out towards the site, leaping around every angle. Bit of an orthodox method, but it does actually work quite well. Freiburg unable to connect the shot. However, the big man Mertz tries to murder them, Jake, but it will just be the one. Issa trades it back, and that is a very down-to-the-wire pistol round. Only 1 player surviving at the end of it.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Estag really pull it out there. 1 HP almost. Just 2 lovely frags from Nubox, but yeah, nice little adaptation from Woxic, just jumping around the corner, no problem. And yeah, it did look like Mertz could have picked that up, but unlucky really. A nice round from HellRaisers, if not a bit scrappy. And now the force does come out from Heroic. They've bought 4 smokes, so hopefully they use those as efficiently as possible. Could do with a bit of X-ray, Ben. If you hit the there we go. That's always nice for the viewers at home.
Trading roles. Still overlooking. What's interesting as well is obviously the mass investment there into the SMGs for HellRaisers, but there's only 1 player that doesn't have head armor. That's going to be Mertz. So even if they do go for this bold attack towards the B site, Jake, it could be a struggle for them. Taking Apartment's control like that is a bit rough as well. Asilian, he's trying to go for the knife there. I
mean, Issa's done exceptionally well to sort of recover the situation there. It's almost an unwritten rule on Inferno, you feel, that you just don't go in-apps versus a eco or a pistol by just sort of the reason we saw there.
Yeah.
Normally, Issa would probably be taken down there, and it's a really grim crossfire to be walking into pistols there, but they make it work, and they've only lost, well, they've lost 2 players now, so it's not incredible, but it's not too bad, as long as no one else falls.
Estag going to try and set himself up for a pop flash to go for the peek back out. Instead, we'll just hold right now towards top banana, gets spammed though, and goes down. So HellRaisers lose 2 players into that round. Yeah, it is quite worrying though. So obviously for Heroic, we've seen that setup become more and more common as well with the 2 players on the close angle. I mean, for Asilian, if he would have actually just gone for the taps with the CZ as well, rather than wasting the ammo initially, that could have been a whole lot worse. Really could have been a bloodbath in the apartments.
Yep, but wasn't to be, and Heroic forced onto the full eco. So it should just be a nice little tidy cleanup for HellRaisers here. Looks to be a bit of a mid-stack. The nade did come in, but...
What is going on with Dead Fox there? Literally just a Glock. Is he... I mean, he's running back to get the bomb, but he's not invested into a gun, Jake.
Well, I suppose he knows that they're going to be on full USPs, and here we go. The mop-up is coming in, but again, 3 frags this time. I mean, not terrible, because they'll probably be wanting to upgrade those SMGs anyway, but you really don't want to be losing 3 guns to 5 USPs.
No.
And here we go. The full buy is coming in, and thanks to that lost bonus, it's quite a nice buy. You know, we're straight into the double AWP here. Lovely utility all around, all coming out on a Cillian. But this is where Heroic really have to stamp their authority on the game early here.
Nice tag. Very aggressive play towards Banana. Gets the tag. The body shot off as well. So Angel's actually brought down to 15 HP. Dead Fox will trade it, but the stopping power of that player early on is very effective from Heroic. Yeah,
a bit greedy there, I'd have to say, from S-Tag. You know, he's done more than enough there. He's got a kill. I'm not sure if he realised he got a tag on top of it, but he's seen it. Oh, wow. The Hobbit's just going for it.
Oh, and the Aug's coming out for a Cillian from the elevated angle. The Pigeon's Nest working well. Is going to trade it, though. But he is trapped inside the Molotov. Had taken too much damage. He'll be burnt to a crisp before he's able to get out the other side, Jake. And it is all on Dead Fox now. Scurries around to try and find a different weapon in the meantime. He's hit Moddy with the yeet as well. And now pushed up towards the bomb site. Left in the 1 versus 2. There's a minute on the clock. And he has the bomb in his possession.
Yeah. Decent amount of time to work with. Just slowing things down. Hoping one of the CTs makes the mistake and just walks into his crosshair here. Taking it nice and slow. Maybe starting to hope that the CTs doubt where he's gone. Could have walked off to B now, and he is finally going to plant.
Yeah, going to be able to get the bomb down. At this point, the pressure is on the CTs to try and go for the retake. In terms of the utility, they've got a Molotov. It's going to be picked up there by Freiburg. Looks like he's ready to chuck that one out towards the site. The response from Dead Fox is also to warden off their path as it is ignited. Mertz can extinguish it with the smoke if he'd like to. Chucks it out towards the site, losing a little bit of time here as the push comes through. Dead Fox going to try and play around the smoke, Jake. Peers over, spots out the first player, but has been sidelined by Mertz, and the retake will go in favour of Heroic. They can pick that round up. They should be able to save both the AWPs as well. Freiburg will find that one over to quad.
Yeah, it looked like he might have been able to use the smoke there. Play around it and sort of find one quick frag and disappear, but wasn't to be. HellRaisers there, you know, you lost the early frag, and Hobbit just trying to make a play, really, just jumping out of apps. Almost worked. Didn't really get the trades necessary, and Heroic pick up that first round. Didn't get to touch on my point about S-Tag. He did sort of get that first frag, a tag, and then still repeat Banana after he saw 3 of them initially, which just seems a bit overzealous, really, once you've got that first frag.
It's the risk-reward sort of play, really, that we see. And a lot more players seem to understand it now as well, with sort of the play style we see from Astralis, right? Where it's based essentially off percentages of why would you go for something that isn't going to get you that 60% kill, and you put yourself more in danger to actually lose the round. And that is the sort of downside of it. Once you got the first tag, there was the potential fallback play from the site. Could have been a different story, and this time, no chance at all. Woxic, with a rapid face there, knocks his block off, Jake.
Yeah, I mean, that's a questionable way of taking Banana, really. Just didn't look too organised. Just 2 of them just throw in random mollies, you know, volleying out logs, but you had 3 players there. If you're chucking a few HEs and soften them up, it might go a lot better for them, but already Freiburg's been tagged up. Not looking great for Heroic here.
They've been able to get a player up onto the boosted angle, at least. So Freiburg's in position. He's the lower man as well, so it works out nicely for him because he's got the element of surprise. Cillian going to rotate back around and play over from Coffins. We've also got Mertz now, hunkered down as the sentry towards CT with the AWP. He's got to push up, he's been smoked off. HellRaisers, they've got that utility, and everything is going to be pulled as well, so they're ready to go for this execution, Jake.
Yeah, nice decision here from Heroic. The stack is coming in. And whether these boys can hold it is another question, but, I mean, yeah, HellRaisers, they're sort of out of utility now, and they're just going for it.
Oh, Angel with a contact face. Does get the first frag off. Freiburg drops off the angle, but is still allowed to hit them with the assault and battery as he finds the first 2 frags in quick succession. Cillian out of ammunition on the AWP, trying to overthrow them with a pistol. A couple of big spams into the back there, but cannot shut him down. It all falls to Woxic. 12 seconds and a dream really into this. He needs to get the bomb down instantaneously, Jake, and this does not look like it should go in his favor. There can be a fast peek from Freiburg. He won't expect it. And it just looked like there was too much chaos there, really running the clock down too late.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, they sort of ran out of utility after executing. They got a bit trapped behind a smoke, but Freiburg with an excellent round there, 4 kills. Fantastic stuff, really.
Yeah, and that is the huge impact we've actually seen coming out of Freiburg quite a lot now. Still trying to clutch on.
Yeah, I mean, he said it himself that he actually feels a lot better about the game nowadays. You know, he's back to putting in the time for the game. Similar to the amount of time that he put in at the start of NIP, you know, where he was sort of just grinding the game, and that was sort of his route to success, really. You know, he's just played so much CSGO at the start of the game that he was just fantastic. You know, coming in from Source, he just was a completely different player.
And that is sort of the aspect that, you know, a lot of players sort of don't really realise is...
Nice Kobe coming in. Does
nowhere near as much damage.
There you go.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. Dead Fox a little bit further back, it could have really rinsed him. That is the unfortunate fact, though, for a player like Freiburg now, if he's sort of getting himself back into it. It's good to see, because it does sort of come down to just that dedication, the amount of hours you put in. You can learn so many different nuances that will get you back on track, feeling himself since the departure of Nip, so he won't try and stagnate anymore. Mertz with the opening kill. Hobbits is done for. Over HellRaisers, they have been able to get back around towards Speedway, Jake, so the split push towards the B site is being set up now. Yeah,
I mean, S-Tag fully aware of it, and Freiburg playing from a nice conservative position, so they shouldn't really be caught out from this flank coming in. But nice idea from HellRaisers so far. If they land 2 nice headshots, could be on the cards, but already. Freiburg taking contact, S-Tag just following it up. There we go. I was going to say they shouldn't even get a plant out of this. But not only that, they've got 2 kills and a plant. I mean, they've got guns now. Woxic has body armor, so... I mean, they can't smoke him off, but he could do a bit of damage here, really.
The percentage of them winning this round is low. Maybe if this would have actually got a frag off there from the bold white swing, it could have gone better for them, unfortunately, for Woxic as well. When he goes for the extension, there's already 2 men out, so he can't really decide who he wants to shoot at, just being spammed up by the Org, and he will perish. Yeah. So Heroic find that 3rd round.
I mean, it looked like Issa had a good, like, half second to sort of kill someone there, but he sort of peeked up 3 CTs in your face, and you're like, ooh, who do I actually shoot? But nice try from HellRaisers. I mean, that's probably better than you really deserve when you've got 4 Glocks and a Deagle. Nice stats coming out. Lovely utility damage already. 7th round. Nice consistency across the board for Heroic. They know their nades.
They do, and that's actually one of the things that has seemed to give them an edge, even when in terms of the overall fragging power, they're having a bit of an off day. Because they actually do have a lot of strategy that's down in their playbook as just default plays. I mean, Inferno is one of the maps that lends into it, and this is one of the times we're going to see it as well. The airstrike towards Banana, however, they're already in the close position, Jake, so it does nothing to them. They're now going to respond with some nades of their own. The barrage will hit, and Freiburg is blown to bits. Yeah, I mean, that is sort of another time over at Banana where it's looked a bit... It almost seems like they seem to think they've got a read of someone being a tree, but so far I haven't seen a single Heroic player sort of stop at logs and just hold from there. It seems they're happy to go up in a pack, get to that close wall and burst from there, and it's caught Heroic off twice now. Back towards Apso, the double player setup is in position. Issa will find the first, but was not ready for the second. Asilium with the Org. He's been a bit of a mean machine into the game this far. However, left in a 1 versus 3 with the Orb. Will he really want to run the risk on this? Their cash is tremendously low. He might be better off just saving this, backing off towards T-Spawn, staying alive.
Sure, and it does look like HellRaisers, for the most part, will probably let him save. I mean, we can see Woxic going for a bit of a hunt over towards the A site, but their money's not too great themselves, so probably happy enough to concede that. Going to be an interesting buy coming out from Heroic now, though. Bit of a decision to be made whether they buy around this AWP or just take the eco on the chin. I mean, a lot of damage can be done when you just buy around an AWP and let them make the plays. And maybe just try and shuffle it around if you lose it, but interesting decision, maybe a pause coming out.
And the potential edge that Heroic have with a play like that as well is you don't really know where that AWP could be situated to, because you both have S-Tag and Mertz. There's the availability there to try and go for the more aggressive play towards Banana, or if Mertz wants to try and take it to mid, you know, go for the early pick, see if they can find something. And it seems like Mertz will actually take it.
Yeah, and they have decided to buy around it. Not bad buy, 2 rifles, 2 pistols, and obviously Inferno, close choke points. Pistols are always going to do damage here.
Ooh. We've seen these aggressive plays towards Banana quite a lot from Heroic, this time rapidly switching up the play style, but the aggression's working nicely. Everyone's so heavily focused towards Banana. Mertz goes for the peek out by mid, Jake, and now there's only 3 HellRaisers remaining.
Yeah, I mean, that's always an awkward fight to take from both teams where you're just spamming each other through the smoke, and luckily for Heroic, they come out fantastically compared to HellRaisers, and Mertz, on the other hand, got that sneaky pick into towards mid. And now HellRaisers, they're just falling back onto the A site, hoping to do something as a pack.
Hobbit. Can we see some of that AK potential coming out? Normally a bit of an artist with a weapon. As he is over towards the apartments right now. Slowly getting close, going to go off the back of his teammates' contact as the push comes through. Angel trying to clear pit side. Very dubious right now, Jake. They're scared of the potential they could be walking into, but Modi will kick it off. The rapid face with the CZ as he batters down the initial man. And bear in mind, it is the stronger buy from HellRaisers here. It has not been working out nicely for them at all, and they have been slaughtered. I felt like they're just going in one by one there. No opportunity to really trade for each other or even help out another man on the HellRaisers side. Yeah,
always awkward going into that A site when you've got no picks, no nothing. And yeah, I mean, we've just seen them get absolutely destroyed there. Interestingly enough, bit of a slow start from Hobbit. That was only his second frag at the end of that round, and not really a meaningful frag at that. So he won't be too happy with himself, you have to feel. You know, not really the start he wanted joining this lineup.
That is true.
The technical pause, potentially, I want to say, for HellRaisers.
So the worrying fact about that is as well, for Hobbit, I mean, we've seen in the past,
tactical pause, no problem.
There we go. He can be one of these players that, you know, when he has confidence, absolutely soars. And it's quite a big standpoint to have. We sort of saw that really with a tremendous run, obviously, at the Major. How ridiculous he was in terms of his performance. He was blowing people out of the water, round in, round out, because he was just soaring high. It's a bit of an early day here. There is time for him to wake up, though. Obviously, still early doors right now. 9 rounds into the game. You can never count a man out.
No, absolutely. I mean, just takes one round to sort of get his confidence back. But I mean, it could be about how he's playing in this new lineup. You know, if he's not being utilized, he seems to just be on his own around apps constantly in this game so far. So maybe they're not utilizing him to his full potential so far, but we'll have to see how it goes on later on to this game. And it does look like just an apps burst coming out from Heroic here. And to be fair, Heroic, they're not set up at all to defend this. It's only really Modi towards the site.
Ooh. Modi. Slow reaction there off the back of the flashbang allows the first player out, but does kill Hobbit. Issa's got the site control now. He can go over and grab the bomb as well. It's been dropped down. Angel will actually be planting that in the meantime. The rotate's coming back around, but every man is grouped up on Arch side right now.
Yeah, another smoke coming in as well to delay them. Ooh, bit of a gap there, but it doesn't actually take the shot. This is going to be an awkward retake if they don't hurry up.
Last bit of utility used for HellRaisers. It does buy them a bit extra time for the push. Woxic will find the first elimination as well, as he rips the head off of Freiburg. So much damage done by that Molotov. It single-handedly kept them at arm's length from Woxic. He's just been able to take it as a shooting gallery, Jed, because they physically can't get close.
Yeah, I mean, that's the danger when you lose that A site. The positions that the T's can get into, you know, pit, site, it's just scary for the T players there. For the CTs even. And a fantastic round out of not even a great buy from HellRaisers. They had 2 pistols, 3 AKs, but like I said, that setup towards Arch was sort of their downfall there for Heroic.
Get themselves ready back into this round though. Angel, the early nade towards top banana. In terms of what HellRaisers have to play with, it is more of an aggressive attack towards the A site early on. We're actually going to see Woxic getting very close towards mid. Going for the peek through to try and get a read. Mertz going to be attacked there and forced out of position. If Woxic tries to get the frag though, knowing he's been pushed back, the risk he runs is the trade from Asilian. However, Asilian just holds it, Jake. Not going to go for any overextension. It's the right call to make as Woxic is just ready on the angle, but not ready for the spam to come through from the UMP.
Yeah, nice trade coming out from Issa there, but Modi trades it straight back and overalls towards the B bomb site. It looks like Angel is struggling.
Is he timed?
It did look like he might have timed out, but yeah. I mean, there's not really anything you can do once the round started and damage has been dealt. So for HellRaisers, just worst case scenario, really.
Yeah, that is very unfortunate. It's also the fact that he's the man that could have grabbed the bomb, tried to make a play into the round instead, where he dies, leaves the bomb down towards bottom. Mid there, Issa has got to go for the full rotation around. There's 40 seconds on the clock, but by the time he actually gets there, if he goes for a play, he'll have very minute amounts of time left. It looks like he might just opt to really play it calm, potentially just save the AK into the round, because again, HellRaisers' cash just isn't that great, Jake.
Yeah, I mean, that's always the danger when you win one, lose one. Hard reset coming in. Might be able to do something with this AK going into the next round. I'm sure they'll buy around it, but not going to be a lot of utility on the board for them. But yeah, I mean, after winning such a nice round, just getting picked apart there. Obviously, unfortunate about Angel, but not really good enough at the moment for HellRaisers. But there we go, 5-5. Heroic just about keeping themselves in this game. It's looked rocky.
Yeah, it hasn't gone especially well for them. A lot of odd rounds here and there. And Hobbit, 2-10 right now. And the issue you run into as well is with a player like Hobbit, if he isn't being utilized correctly, you could actually run into issues with that. Because if he's just come in, immediately takes the roles that Bondic was playing, played the same positions or played in the same way, it might not really work for him because of the difference that he has in his playstyle.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you don't get Hobbit to fill Bondic's role, surely. You know, Bondic was much more of a role player for the team. To be fair, he probably actually brought quite a lot in terms of just team morale. I wonder if he's still around. I can't remember if he dropped to analyst or not. But, you know, you always see him at events. He's always very emotional. Yeah, is probably the word for it. So, I mean, maybe that lack of presence could be a bit of a factor here for HellRaisers.
Potentially so. New man on the team, if he's not as loud, could be a bit rough for them. Early face coming through, though, towards second mid. Asilian going to launch out a nade. A little bit of damage.
Yeah, a little bit. I've seen him do that a couple of times now, so HellRaisers maybe start catching on to it. But that one is a lot more damage. And Ace has not really had too much fun. Hasn't seen a single player, and he's already down to 33 HP.
Heroic actually very impressive right now in terms of how they've been calculating their nades. Towards Banana, it's been a little bit more messy because they haven't really had a read of the playstyle, so they've been wasting a bit of utility at times. But towards this A site, that was very tasty.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what you want. Maybe taking a bit of inspiration from their Danish cousins in Astralis, who are the absolute masters of grenade usage.
Yeah, they know their angles well. Push coming back, though.
Bit of mid-control coming out from HellRaisers here. Just taking brackets. Just hoping to push the CTs back. Keep them guessing. See as well, Angel just putting a bit of pressure towards that B-bomb site. Looks like it's going to be on Mertz here, just to sort of quell the push that may come round to Arch. I'm sure it'll get smoked off. And he does.
Going to rotate back around quickly, though.
Yeah, it does look like a split might be on the cards here for HellRaisers. Trying it again. But Mert's in the perfect position, really.
Yeah, very easy. You've got the long corridor there. You can just hold towards Arch side. You're going to find the first pick with the AWP. Now means they're essentially trapped in position. So Hobbit's completely cut off from the rest of the squad. And the play going over towards the B site isn't really having the best day either. However, Woxic will be able to step up to the table, finds that headshot. Needs to pretty much go for the plant right now, though, and the push comes around. Has to be supported by Dead Fox. But Dead Fox just couldn't do it. If Freiburg had gone down, Jake, there was potential into the round there. However, Freiburg, with the spray, does what he does best.
Yeah, I mean, strong defense coming in from Freiburg once again, but once that wrap got shut down immediately, it was sort of just left Hobbit with the only other AK just trapped behind enemy lines with about 15 seconds left. So even if he had got that kill, that push wouldn't really have affected the rest of the round, if we're honest. But yeah, nice try, I suppose, from HellRaisers. They didn't have too much to work with, but strong defense coming out from Heroic, and they're trying to string some rounds together here.
Right. This time he takes the mantle of the AWP towards the B site, goes for the fast face, misses the shot, but immediately falls back this time. On the reface, though, Dead Fox aggressing, goes down a matter of seconds, and Estertag will be able to get a very tasty headshot off with the M4 into Angel.
Yeah, a little bait and switch, I suppose. They're always nice to try and chase down the AWP with pistols, but straight into the M4 of Estertag. And again, nice clean anti-eco round coming in from Heroic. They should be able to take this rather cleanly. Another Arch setup coming out from the boys with Asilian and Mertz. Doesn't look like they're going to be challenged, though. And yeah, I mean, for HellRaisers, they're just hoping for a couple of lucky deagle shots, really.
Yeah, at this point, Hobbit essentially set up for a suicide mission towards the A site to try and spark some kind of rotation or try and convince them it is going to be a true play, when in reality, they want to go towards B. However, the bomb's actually now going to fall back. Woxic on the full rotate there, going to get away. As they have 50 seconds, they could just try to go for the desperation play on the A site, but Hobbit instantly smacked down, and he's going to go back to B.
Yeah, not really much to be done here. Should just be nice, easy cleanup for the CT defense.
So close on the timing there as well. Freiburg suspected the angle. Oh, didn't actually see him over the smoke, so Woxic had free reign to try and take the shot with the deagle.
Yeah, that was weird. It looked like Estertag was looking right at him.
Oh no. Ooh, Issa actually gets one shot off with the deagle, tried to line up the second, but the only men that are going to be lined up is Woxic, and Issa completely overthrown there by the M4 towards the B site. And Heroic, they've got a pretty good lead now. 2 rounds ahead of HellRaisers here on the first half.
Yeah, I mean, we saw HellRaisers pick up that pistol round. And it hasn't probably been the half that they were hoping for so far. You know, Heroic are looking decent here on that CT side.
So again, with a more aggressive take towards Banana early on. This time they will be contested again. Oof. The peak coming out, S tag. I mean, the players are ready for it now. They expect it. You've done it far too many times in a row that it isn't a play that's going to catch them off guard.
Exactly, yeah, and there we go. Freiburg's fallen as well. More players falling in apps. Cillian's gone. Everyone losing their fights here. Doesn't even matter that they've taken the B bomb site because they've taken A as well. I mean, that's a pretty ideal round, you know? Just take both bomb sites. Why not? If you can.
It's a difference there as well with Heroic. At times, that controlled aggression can be quite useful, and it can catch them off guard. But Heroic, everyone just going for a fast play into the round. It felt a little bit unnecessary considering the situation they're in. HellRaisers, full advantage of it. They're just going to hold their angles. They know you're going to come towards them. Very easy to get those taps off with the AKs. Mertz missing a shot you feel like he'd normally hit as well towards mid there. Essentially gifted the opportunity, Jake.
Almost looked like he wanted a re-peek as well, but thought against it. But yeah, we've seen him hit some nice shots in this game already, so should be really hitting that shot. Ooh. That was a cheeky little play coming out from Cillian there. But I mean, Hobbit was just in his own head. I mean, the stack was sort of coming out towards B. They're going to think against it, and Issa's just finished up the last player over towards that A bomb site. And it's only S-Tag rotating, and he's only got a deagle. But HellRaisers, you know, keeping it calm and collected, not rushing into anything. They've still got a minute on the clock. Don't have to rush anything here. Lovely little nade coming in.
Yeah, good amount of damage done. Oh, the connection there towards Banana as the trade comes through, so yeah.
Not too bad. And there we go, they are taking the A site here. S-Tag caught behind enemy lines. Will find a first frag and an AK. But the T should be able to get into decent afterplants in this situation, so it should be a save really from Heroic. But they're not going to go for it.
No, playing quite aggressive. That is going to finally be them set in stone to go for the save into the round. Mertz realizes there is absolutely no point. At this time, it is going to go 7-7. It'll be the last round of the half. Hold on to the AWP. You're not going to have really substantial cash going into it either, so you want to try and keep anything that could give you a potential edge.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, the money's just not really there. And it's sort of been the tale of this game, just both teams breaking each other's economies constantly. Real scrappy fight this first half. And it makes sense for what these teams are playing for, really.
Mertz. Exit frag there onto Hobbit as he tried to aggress towards him. It was worth the risk. They have a lot of money. They know they can pump it back into this one. It's the final round of the half, so if you would have got the AWP out of Mertz's hand, it would have been much more worthwhile. 7-7. One team will take themselves a slight advantage at the end of the initial half here, Jake, and it really just comes down to an Arsenal consisting of a UMP and an AWP for the CT side. Yeah,
I mean, Mertz, he's got intent with this run-up. He's got it all to do, really, for this team in this round. He's got to be the absolute catalyst coming in. And he really has to show HellRaisers what he's got. That nade, we've seen it a couple of times. He's still getting caught by it.
Very simple nade as well. Just counters it if you're trying to go for the boosting towards apartments, so you know that player is going to be weakened. Good nade towards Banana once again. So in terms of utility damage, transferring a fair bit of damage early on before they even find contact. However, Freiburg will receive a bit of damage back.
They are just going in contact through the smoke. No respect, really, and they're going to take Freiburg out as well. And there we go, the B bomb site's done. Issa with the lurk kill. And already, I mean, Mertz hasn't had a chance to get in the game with that AWP, and it's already falling apart for Heroic here.
Mertz, he could be sidelined very easily if he does not realize Woxic is just hiding. Going to be sitting by the tree. Smoke will come out as well, gets the first frag. However, the smoke does actually block Woxic off. Didn't have a clear shot, so doesn't want to give the game away and telegraph where he is. However, Jake, Molly, finding the pick back onto Issa is good. If Mertz waits for the rotate, they could try and retake this together. Yeah,
I mean, the bomb's only just gone down, so they do have time. No kits in play, but 2 smokes, so they should be able to smoke up Banana, have pretty confident ideas where the players are. Does pick up a little Molotov there as well. Oh, here we go. Nice little lineup for back right. Dark spot. I used to throw this molly as well.
Nice.
Quite nice back in the day.
Just take a lot of time to line up though, and the issue you run into is the fact they don't have a kit, so the play will very much be forced going into the last few seconds of the round.
Yeah.
And it's an easy spray as well.
Yeah.
Modi had already taken some damage, not really going to sustain himself through that one.
Like you said, it already looked like they had taken a bit too long. There was a kit over towards Coffin, so maybe Mertz had that in mind, but yeah, I mean, probably not the best time to be trying to line up a molly that maybe he's not 100% familiar with. You know, definitely took him a good 5 seconds there to get that going, but decent half for HellRaisers, I guess. I mean, they'd probably be wanting to be in a better situation at the moment, but I mean, you win the half, you should be happy with that. Heroic, I mean, there were times in that half where they really looked like they could have just gotten going and just stacked up a good 4 or 5 rounds together, but HellRaisers, you know, we saw them win that Apps Burst with pistols and AKs. That really swung the rest of the half in their favor.
But that's the thing, I don't know if it was necessarily HellRaisers playing incredible CS there, or if it was just Heroic defeating themselves at times, because they actually won a majority of rounds where they'd play it smartly. You know, the utility damage was fantastic. They were getting so much early damage off that it always felt like HellRaisers were on the back foot. They would lose the first man a good majority of the times. However, overconfidence appeared to be a major issue for Heroic. Constant refaces that deemed a little bit unnecessary. And the more chaotic rounds as well, where they would just go headstrong in, did not work out for them at all. HellRaisers, they had their number into those more aggressive rounds, Jake, and at the end of the half, it just seemed like HellRaisers had the sustain. They were more calm, level-headed when it came to those rounds.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, when we saw Heroic lose some of those rounds, they really lost those rounds. You know, they just lose all 5 players in the space of about 10 seconds. And it just looked rough for them at times. Nice little KZ coming in there from S-Tac.
Yeah, good bit of movement.
Nice. You don't really see that come out anymore. Not really, I mean, I guess there's a bit of use for it, but it's not as common as the old Inferno.
No. That's the thing, it's one of those angles that can catch them off guard if they go for a late peek towards second mid, but
I mean, at the same time, if someone's going to peek you, you're probably caught mid-air there, so.
There's the risk you run into. Well, 8-7, HellRaisers, they have a 1-round advantage going into the second half now, as we will get back into the pistol round. Obviously, the pistol round, not as much weight to it anymore. It's been toned down a little bit in terms of the rounds you do pick up off the back of it. However, they are still relatively important. Let's see if HellRaisers can get something going. Very aggressive strategy, Jake.
Absolutely.
No one knows.
Fragback does turn in time. 2 cheeky frags, 3 with the P250, making it work. But Hobbit with the reply, 2 quick frags of his own.
Oh! And Hobbit's got the bomb control here as well and keeps on aggressing. This is the round that Hobbit needed to wake himself back up and get into the game. If he can get back towards the site, even though he's low, he can still stay alive and be an absolute nuisance. Issa going to charge back through as well. In the meantime, though, Modi, bunny hopping around like a lunatic, Jake, will flick himself back over and get another frag with the Glock. These pistol rounds, going down to 1 player each time. You can never call them between the 2 sides.
Yeah, I mean, lovely shooting there from both Hobbit and Freiburg, really hitting their shots there. Did look like Hobbit had maybe just done enough there, but wasn't to be, like you said. Nice little scrappy end to the pistol round there, but Heroic come out on top, and that's the exact start they needed.
The difference here of the second round buy as well is the fact, once again, we see the free player investment to SMGs. However, HellRaisers, they didn't force into it. They're going to go with what we're seeing more commonly now on that CT side, where you just allow this round to go through. You go for a very light investment, if any. The risk they run into is how much money Heroic can really farm here with his SMGs, Jake. 1 bullet straight to the head from the MAT-10s, and everyone could be dead.
Yeah, I mean, it should just be a clean-up here for Heroic. Like you said, not really much firepower on the side of HellRaisers, but I mean, it's an interesting debate, really, about what you do with this new money situation, because obviously the buy is going to be coming out next round. But you've got a serious lack of utility, and on a map like Inferno, I can't say I agree with it. You know, I'm much more inclined to agree with how Heroic played it. You know, they came into the first buy, which, you know, months ago, that's your first buy anyway, except this time, instead of having no utility, they've got double AWP and full utility on everyone.
Yeah.
So I don't really see why you wouldn't just have a bit of patience and just eco this round as well. Maybe go for 2 half buys, you know, Deagle armor, pistol armor, and then buy next round with full utility. But, I mean, a lot of teams have decided to go this way as well, so we'll see if they can make it work. But look at that, it's not what you want to see in terms of utility.
That's the only risk with it, is the fact you do get a buyout in terms of your firepower. But on a map like this, as you said, it is hard, because defending those sites, you need that utility. It's a very core part. S-Tac taking a lot of damage there early on as well.
Yeah, that was a molly as well.
Oh.
don't even know how he's managed to stand in that. I mean, he's jumped up into it, I guess, but...
It's a lot of damage.
Yeah. I mean, it could work out as well because Heroic have kept 2 SMGs, 2 Mach 10s on the board for them. And I do believe they're going to go for a sort of apps burst? No, maybe? Looks like they're just taking a bit of map control to start the round.
I mean, it seems like it. You've got the backstab there set up for Freiburg as well, so he can wheedle his way in through the rear. Angel unlocks it with the initial 2 kills, though, and Issa spamming through. Not much of S-Tag really visible to the naked eye there, but he still got the shots off and eliminated him. Asilian left on 12 HP. Has to fully rotate back around as he will link up with his teammate in Freiburg towards the B site. However, getting in is going to be rough for them, Jake. Not too much sustain. Luckily, there's no HEs in play, and there is now no utility at all. Dead Fox gets dinked, so he's forced out of the site. And this is what makes it a little bit harder for HellRaisers. They just have to go off the back of their raw strength. And Freiburg with a very aggressive play. It works out well to find the first frag, but Asilian left in the 1-on-3. If he doesn't suspect the push here towards Garden, he should go down. Peeks out, gives Hobbit the opening angle, and that will be the round for HellRaisers.
Yeah, I mean, Dead Fox there did very well to stay alive as long as he did. Got his CT brothers ready for the trade. But that was a really smart round from HellRaisers. We were talking about utility usage, and the way they positioned themselves at mid, they just made it so utility wasn't even part of the debate for that round. You know, they were stopping Heroic before they even started approaching the site and just shut them down completely in mid with those rifles. So really nice setup.
Whose chicken is that, by the way?
Whose chicken is...
There's a chicken that has been following people for quite some time now. It's been in spawn for like the past 4 rounds. So someone has a chicken.
Someone has a chicken. Ah.
Not ideal.
Maybe that's how he burnt last round.
Potentially.
Who knows? Who knows?
I'm really unsure what he did, because there was a bit of a spam through the wall, so I guess technically he could have taken like 2 ticks from jumping up and then also a shot at the same time, but it was a bit of a weird one for the initial confrontation. Ooh.
That is rough.
That's not a good start.
Because, I mean, from what Freiburg was even doing, it doesn't even seem like he should deserve that 50+ damage he's got there onto Hobbit, but I mean, banana control coming out already from HellRaisers, and Hobbit's decided to rotate over. Just leaving Dead Fox playing the info game. He's got a molly and a smoke to slow them down, and he does see them. So nice sensible setup coming in from HellRaisers, and they look quite promising on this CT side already.
Potentially this is where we can start to see them excel. In terms of actually being able to cut off the play, if Heroic do go for the attack towards the A site, they're in prime time angles to deal with it. However, Jake, the rotate's coming back down. You're just leaving Modi there as your lurk player, and you're going to try and take the banana control. We need to see the fast rotate coming back around from Hobbit once the call is made. He will be alerted of the situation. Dead Fox, with no utility, now needs to just try and salvage this one towards the back of the site. Complete blindness. It's like someone's opening up a text document in front of him. And then awkward spam comes out from Hobbit. Eventually connects him to Freiburg, but it's too little too late, really, Jake. They've secured the site control. He has to wait for his team to actually arrive on the scene.
Yeah, important fight coming here at top banana. If S-Tag wins it, he puts his team in a wonderful position.
Ooh.
Yeah, he's heard the reload come in. Great play from S-Tag.
My goodness.
Yeah,
that's
it's all
flurry
left
of frags as well.
All left on Issa, really. And, I mean, there's nothing you can really hope for on a 1v3 with about 20 seconds left. Just going to hope he can save here. But I'd be surprised if they let him.
Well, put himself on a bench.
Ooh.
Does find himself 2 kills in the exit. Gets away with 19 HP as well. So at the very least, I mean, it's a save. He's got armor, kit, Molotov there in the M4 as well. So at least they'll be able to clutch onto that going into the next round.
I mean, really nice damage. I mean, you look at Heroic's economy, they really needed those 3 players to stay alive there. You've got Freiburg and Modi who can't even buy AK armor themselves, so they're dropping down to the SMGs. HellRaisers on the flip side, they're on a pretty weak buy, but that round was quite nice. You know, Heroic just committed to the fact that Dead Fox was alone there. They're just pushing straight through his smoke, going for the contact, and they traded fantastically going in through into the site there, and S-Tag with a lovely play at top banana. Already S-Tag punishing Hobbit. It was, I mean, that is questionable, just going for a jump peat at the start of the round.
And again, it feels like it's pretty much the repeat of what we saw on the other side. The constant aggression towards banana. It's so easy to telegraph. You know, we've seen Hobbit go for that push countless times now as his standard playing towards the round. Oh, that is a lovely flash over. In terms of the damage transfer as well, Mertz left on 11 HP, Asilian down to 63. As a way to try and salvage the round, potentially, it's a great start.
Yeah, I mean, Heroic now just wolf packing, keeping all 4 players together, hoping that they just guess the right site. And it does look like they're going to walk into Issa, who does have an M4. You know, he does have the M4 saved over from the last round, and I mean, we've seen him do some absolutely diabolical things in the past. So if they're not too careful, this could get messy for him. Dead Fox had rotated over, but he doesn't get a single frag. Sort of caught out, just running out from Library there, and here we go. It's all on Issa.
Issa hiding, being a little bit of a surprise there, as he will find himself the first execution. Beheads S-Attack, but Asilian is quick on the trigger to eliminate him. Leaves him lifeless on the ground, and it is now just up to Angel. Try and really be a Guardian Angel to pluck HellRaisers out of this round, but the likelihood is so minute. The chance of it actually happening is minuscule, and he is just going to get away. Saves onto the M4, recovered that weapon, dropped over his UMP. And they will save this. Again, it's just a one-weapon save, and it's HellRaisers losing 4 men each and every round. For Heroic, it's getting better as well. The average players, they're much higher, with 3 of them now surviving rather than last time. Yeah,
I mean, they can build a tiny bit of a bank there. Give them a bit to fall back on, but I mean, that round you sort of have to harper back to just Hobbit throwing his life away, really, at the start of that round. Just questionable play, because it's not like they flashed over for him to get the info. He just sort of went, well, last round they played it pretty conservative, so I'll probably be able to do the same thing, but he was greeted by 5 members of the terrorist sign. It didn't go too well. And here we go. Nice tactical pulls coming in for Heroic, you know, just taking a breather, maybe trying to work out what HellRaisers are doing in terms of whether they're buying or not, which is an interesting question in and of itself. Because I'm pretty sure I saw an M4 there on one of the players. But I'm pretty sure they wouldn't have been able to buy 5 M4s. So that'll be an interesting one.
This is actually one of the things that it's nicer to see this season of Pro League as well, where even teams that are currently winning, they're taking these rounds now to understand more about the time you have to think about what the team's economy is. And it also does put a little bit of a doubt in your mind. You know, if you see a team go for a tactical pause when they're winning, you're sort of questioning, what's the reason behind this? What could they be trying to switch up?
Ah, it's Mertz's chicken.
Ah.
There you go.
All right, there we go.
No, but absolutely. I mean, it's weird that it's taken so long for teams to start pausing more consistently, even when they are winning. But it's nice to see teams being mature enough, I suppose, to call that pause and just think things over.
Well, it's just realising the potential asset you have there, really. Exactly. I mean, you're given 4 pauses. You might as well try and use them. Round 21. Not a lot to play with, really, for HellRaisers. It is just the 1 rifle saved onto Angel. The likelihood of them finding success in this round is going to be a bit of a tall order, Jake, as it does appear to be an A play.
I mean, they tried to send him mid. They flashed for him, but no one really given anything on the Heroic side. Playing nice and patiently now, just taking brackets control. Pushing the CTs back towards site. And then they can use that utility. But there we go, Angel, he's been fully blinded there. And there we go, that's the 1 M4, the one hope they have into the round. He's just caught in the middle of nowhere with his pants down. And Heroic have the site. They find Hobbit and Pit. Not really much he can do. Trying to be sneaky, but there we go, a 12th round for Heroic. And I mean, they lost that pistol round, but it's looking pretty good here.
Yeah, this is a great start. The scale factor is as well. HellRaisers, they're the team that needs to win this to secure themselves a better position or potentially a better seed going into the LAN finals. That's what it's all about, really, to try and keep themselves above FaZe in a huge position, or the potential of that better seed. But if they lose this...
Yeah, you've got Space Soldiers breathing down your back.
That's the worrying factor, because remember, straight after this, Space Soldiers currently playing a game on the A stream versus AGO. In theory, they should take that, right? They've got to be the better sided team. Then them versus Heroic. If HellRaisers lost this series versus Heroic, Jake, it could really be quite a predicament they're left in.
Yeah, I mean, not ideal at all. Probably not what they were expecting going into this day. You have to feel like they should be taking it versus Heroic, but Heroic looked like a much stronger team here.
Scary fact that I've just learned as well is Space Soldiers, they picked up the first map with a 16-6 scoreline.
So they're here to play today.
Yeah.
That was always an interesting question. You know, we saw them the previous weeks. They've looked a bit sloppy at times, but they're banging out people at 16-6, then you've got to start sweating if you're HellRaisers.
The HellRaisers now finally actually a full buy going into these rounds.
I mean, you say that, but even still, the utility is just a bit wonky on everyone. You know, I can't remember the last time this half they've actually had a full buy with full utility on all 5 players.
It's also the risk we run here that people kind of overlook at times is the fact there's only 1 kit in play, and that is on Issa. So the likelihood of him dying there towards pit, if we see this being a play towards the B site, if he goes down with one of the players lurking towards the A site, you're not getting that kit back.
Sure. I mean, we might see a similar situation to that early round where HellRaisers don't let it get to a plant situation and just take an early fight. But it doesn't look like Heroic are going to let them. You know, just grouping up towards the B site. Looks like a standard execute might be on the cards here. Or maybe a bit more jazzy than just standard. You know, we got the molly coming in for backside. Probably have one for new box as well. Here we go. The execute comes in.
It's a lovely play on the site. Will force them out of their positions. Dead Fox as well. The late Molotov, he didn't expect it to burn. As it pops up a little bit later, he's actually forced that position just as they come towards the site. He's repositioning with his pants down. They're going to find the early frags. However, they are still alive. Woxic is in position towards the site, but Freiburg was ready for it. Somehow stays alive as well. Jake dances through the bullets that was being spammed at him from CT. He's a little bit paranoid now, though. Knows the push is coming towards him. Angel's able to find the frag, but Modi just needed to keep going for the spam there. Yeah,
looked like he might have had that. But, yeah, I mean, Angel just about wins it out. Scrappy round again for HellRaisers to find. It was actually the Astralis execute we saw them pull out against Fnatic the other day in that insanely close 14-15 round to take it over to overtime. But unlike Astralis, they don't convert that round too cleanly, and they don't actually convert it at all, Jack. Freiburg looked like he had it all sussed out after he picked up Woxic, but no, HellRaisers just got the trades in their favour. Ooh, a bit of aggression coming in from Woxic. Ooh, wow.
That's rough.
Maybe not expecting the jump from Modi. Nice trade from Issa, but he should be shut down, and he actually survives with 9 HP.
I mean, considering the start of the round, he's been able to salvage it quite nicely, at least, because they now have the advantage over Heroic in terms of the battle of attrition. However, Issa, surviving on 9 HP, at least he's got Bogdan's law in his
Exactly, he won't be too fussed. You know, he can play from pit, headshot angle with an AWP. What more do you really want when you're on low HP?
Freiburg finds the contact peek there onto Angel. However, they didn't expect it. The silent assassin in Hobbit arrives on the scene, starts to put his stamp onto the round as well. Nice play with the UMP there from close range. Mertz goes back around, knows the bomb is close by, focusing on the angle, expects the peek. He's going to go for the jump face to try and bait him out. Mertz won't fall for the shenanigans. However, through the smoke, Dead Fox will mow him down. That's a free AWP save. So we now 2 AWPs in play for HellRaisers on the CT side.
Yeah, pretty scrappy round once again for HellRaisers to win there. Didn't have too much in terms of guns. You know, you had a UMP, MP9, but they went for that aggression in apps. Just about, I mean, you'd probably have to say Issa's fortunate to get out there with 2 kills and his life.
He should have died to the boiler player, really.
Yeah. I mean, it's awkward when he's playing around on those steps, just duck in and dive in with that AWP. But I think it was Modi who was fighting him. Should be really taking that fight, and I'm sure he'll be rather annoyed at himself.
It's one of those awkward fights, though. We know a player's got an AWP and they're just on the headshot. It does sort of throw you off a little bit.
The tactical pause coming in for Heroic. Not too sure what they're discussing here. I mean, the double AWP now coming out for HellRaisers, so they're changing it up completely. They have decided to buy on the side of Heroic. So similar situation to the first half, just roles reversed here. And already, I think Issa getting aggressive in second mid, and he does fall, so does a lot of damage, but loses his life for it.
He has weakened them up. However, this push is building up towards the A site, and it appears to be bubbling, ready to try and get to a boil before they burst their way in. Woxic just going to go for the dry face, holds the angle. They're going to crouch into it. It was nearly actually the collateral, Jake.
Yeah, but nice trade from Modi. You know, wasn't too tight on his mate there, and just about times it perfectly to secure that trade. And looks like they want to speed things up here, but the utility coming out from HellRaisers has made them think otherwise.
Oh yeah, that nade's filth though. Look how low it's brought down both Modi and S-Attack just off the back of one chuck of a grenade. Dead Fox is now in position. He does have the AWP. He'll be able to pluck them out of the sky. Finds one, but he's so low on the reface. S-Attack's going to deal with it.
Completely empty. So the wrap does come in. Oh, the timing.
That's awkward. Modi Might have actually been better off just trying to go for the stealthy play there. Thought we could get the frag off from the rear. Doesn't find it, goes for the full rotate. He's lucky to stay alive, really, as well. I mean, he's on 3 HP. However, as you said, Heroic, they've slapped a welcome mat down outside the B site and invited themselves in. They've taken it as their territory. Angel and Hobbit on for the retake as they'll rotate back around. One smoke is all they have to play with, but Angel's going quite aggressive. The last 2 remaining players you could literally sneeze at to get them out of the server as well, but Modi is going for the full-on rotate, the backstab.
Fully expected. Lovely from Hobbit. I mean, that's again where he seems to just have the perfect read on the situation, where one of the heroic players is coming in with an interesting little flank, and Hobbit is just completely wise to it, and lovely, lovely bit of intuition there coming in. Unless he just heard him, but
potentially so.
Let's just give him the credit for it.
He's brained him.
He has absolutely brained him, and Heroic from, what, 12-8, 12-9, they've really let it slip here, and yeah.
Exactly.
Those are chickens, yeah.
That does sum it up, to be fair.
Absolutely. So, by coming in for a Heroic, not fully invested, as they can by next round with the loss bonus, but nice little bit of utility. Hopefully they can do something with it. Looks like it's going to be a Apps Burst once again.
Getting themselves set up towards this play over on the A site. In terms of the firepower they actually have in their arsenal, it really isn't too much. Just a couple of pistols being brought to the table. S attack, we can try and see potentially some Tech 9 chaos coming out if he does go for the burst.
We've seen HellRaisers position themselves towards site and pit now, which is the worst case scenario for the T's if they're going for an Apps Burst, but it doesn't actually matter. Modi gets the first trade and it's all a ruse. All onto Dead Fox. He has to face up against 4 T's, 4 angry T's running into his B-bomb site now. And with that silence then, it could get a bit sketchy for him.
Depends on how he plays it. If he overcompensates on the spray rather than going for the tap, it can be your downfall. Luckily, he will get a nice opening kill and also a huge chunk of damage transfer there onto S-Tag as well. Hobbit actually spots them out as they're trying to get into position, Jake. Bear in mind, it's a 3-on-3, but their arsenal is so much stronger. You've got the Molotov there on Issa as well. You can launch that out. That should force them out of position. This is nicely timed, and it's working well. A very systematic retake coming through so far by HellRaisers, but Astillion in position to try and make a meal out of them. Gets a bit aggressive, finds the first, expecting the push to come in, just pre-firing down, but he's out of ammunition. Somehow switches out to the P250, finds the headshot. He's domed him. And not only that, Jake, he's wasted so much time. There's no chance. Issa,
won the round.
He's got a save.
Wow. That is devastating if you're HellRaisers there. Astillion playing with that silence then for, it looked very awkward once he ran out of bullets. I mean, that's the danger you run into when you start trying to pre-fire with that weapon, but wastes enough time, manages to get the kill with the P250 anyway. And yeah, HellRaisers, not really good enough. You know, Dead Fox, he was playing towards coffins, wanted to just get 1 kill and fall back surely, but instantly traded, and a 3v3 on a B bomb site is always going to be an awkward situation for the CTs, and they just can't do it there.
Roxit going to drop off the elevated angle, both of them just playing close.
It looks like
they're for the boost again.
For a quick Apps Burst, and it's a perfect call because look at the CT setup, all towards mid. But if the T's don't look at them, this could get spicy. Almost like a role reversal here from the CTs and T's, and it's working out for the CTs so far.
Yeah. Essentially forced to retake their own site from the get-go here as the push comes through. They will now have a read on the position that is in play there from Woxic. A quick return from Mertz as he will be able to bite down on him with the AWP, Jake. It's a 2 versus 3. You've got the site control, but all 3 CTs are in close proximity.
Yeah, Mert's going to have to pull out some magic here, really, if they want to win this round. Have a decent amount of utility on the HellRaisers side. That molly could be devastating for Mertz if he gets it in.
Yes, sir. Coming out through the apartments. The landlord here to claim his rent, Jake, as the Molotov will go in early on. Mertz to surely be forced out of position. Takes an awful lot of damage from the Molotov, actually, bringing him down to 70 HP as well. More susceptible to a rapid kill from the pistols and AKs that are in play. But Freiburg, fast and ferocious there, flicking around, being able to just beat them all down. Mertz, all he's got to do is find this kill with the AWP. Oh, he gets dinked down to 3 HP. I mean, luckily for him, there is physically no time left, so Hobbit can't win the round, can't save the AWP either, because he will be going down to the bomb blast. Heroic, they're winning these rounds, but it's always down to the wire. It never looks really consistent. Yeah,
it's been the tale of this game, to be fair. Scrappy, disgusting rounds, really, you know, between both teams, just trading blows. Absolute slobber knocker, really. And there, again, it was just scrappy all over the place, you know. The players get into pit, trading, just about going in favor of HellRaisers, but it comes down to the 3v2 retake. And it was actually really nice flashes when they started coming in, but they just didn't utilize it quick enough. By the time Mertz was unblind and Freiberg was unblind, the CTs were just not in the right positions, really. So it just had to be a tiny bit quicker, and they could have retaken that. But here we go, 14-12, and not an ideal buy for HellRaisers. It's just 4 pistols, one ump. It's not pretty on the other side for Heroic, but it's not where you want to be if you're HellRaisers. They've decided they don't even want to play for overtime, essentially.
It's interesting as well that HellRaisers seems to be one of the teams now that have actually had a resurgence of the 5-7 since the changes with the pricing.
Sure. Obviously a bit of a change to the CZ as well, but it is all going to come to a head at top mid. Once again, perfect setup from the CTs.
Ooh, that's a lot of damage done from the 5-7 there, actually. One player taken out, Mertz left on 1 HP. Another frag comes through from Issa as well, Jake.
Perfect trading, though. They'll be happy with that every day of the week. And they've secured the site, and there's no real hope for HellRaiser to retake this. Sure, Mertz is on 1 HP, but you've got no kit, you've got a 5-7 and a Deagle. I mean, you can just about save an AK and play for overtime now, which is not the situation they want to be in.
No.
As obviously they're not getting as many points for a win there.
Because that's the factor. If they're able to push it into OT, if they lose, it's still guaranteed 1 point. If you win, it's 2. But bear in mind, you want the full 3. You want to shut this down. This is what we spoke about to open up the show today, that you need to be able to close out games here before overtime is even reached, just physically because of how late into the overall stage we are in terms of the standings here.
Yeah, Hobbit might get a cheeky little frag here. He does. Looked like he picked up a gun, but dies to the bomb for his troubles. It's only Dead Fox saving over an AK. And still no money really to play with for HellRaisers. Will probably be just a similar buy to what we just saw. And the tactical pause comes out to talk about it, but there's not a lot you can really discuss.
Not really. It's not as if they even sort of have everything they can fall back on. They don't really have an abundance of money, so there's no players that can come out where potentially you could try and sort of throw caution to the wind, go for something a little bit more aggressive, you know, rock out the double AWP setup. It's just not going to happen. You physically can't afford to try and make a play like that at this stage.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely on Heroic here to throw away the game and to lose the game themselves if they don't approach this anti-eco in a proper, confident, conservative manner. I mean, we've seen them do it already this game, where they can play anti-ecos very nicely, so they just need to keep that composure and take it over the line.
Try and keep themselves in a level head here. In terms of the firepower, they are actually going into potentially the final round of the game. Here it'll be the saved AK on Issa. 2 MP9s. I mean, if there's a chance they can try and catch you off guard in close range, the headshot potential's there. It's still definitely quite a damaging weapon, but early on.
That's not an ideal start. Freiberg just mowing him down straight through a smoke. And I suppose they do take banana control, but you've left Dead Fox there, who we saw earlier in the game couldn't really handle it with an M4. He's got the exact same setup, except this time he's got an MP9. And okay, I prefer this. You know, they've just decided to stack A, I suppose. I mean, Hobbit's gonna go B because he's got the smoke, which is fine. But Heroic, like we said, they're taking their time. They've already got that first pick. Smokes are coming in. I don't even think they're going to use them.
No.
Send Moddy in, see what he can get done. Does actually get in the pit, which is perfect. Doesn't actually find a frag, but he's taken all 3 players over. And it's all on Hobbit, really.
And again, that's the issue we run into. I mean, how many times have we seen them go for that fake play towards the A site, with one player actually going in, out through the apartments and trying to cause the fake? Again, they do it. This time, at least, there is the advantage for HellRaisers on the retake, and Dead Fox with the MP9 finds the first frag.
Freiberg's going to have to ace if he wants to win this.
It's a hard margin to put on him. Swedish superstar. Can he start to close this one down? Goes for the big spam. However, 1 versus 2 like that, you can't win the firefight. HellRaisers, they win the round.
Honestly, that's a big part to play was Hobbit just getting those 2 players as they were rushing through the smoke there. And deadfox pushing through, where I'm not too sure who it was on the T side, just was not expecting it. And yeah, left it all down to Freiburg, and once again, it's all to play for. You know, Heroic, they've just got about enough money to buy, but I'm sure they probably won't, seeing as it doesn't really matter if they lose this round compared to the next one. You know, it's might as well get a much better buy going into the last round of the game. And HellRaisers, I mean, you win that pistol round, and they have all the utility in the world, finally. Could be seeing overtime here, Joe.
There is that potential. And that's the worrying factor, because right now it's not really what either side necessarily wants. It's not worth it. Heroic, they need to try and close it down at round 30. That is the best possibility for them. For HellRaisers, there is no real chance to win this game in regulation anymore. It's physically impossible. Overtime is the only cause and effect they can hope to achieve. But then it's just 2 points. That's all they're going to get. Not really ideal for either side at this point.
No, and it does look like Heroic had decided just to group up towards the B-bomb site. Don't have much utility at all, so they're just going to burst it. deadfox just about gets around the corner, and Hobbit hoping to just mop them up here.
If they can get weapons out of their hands at least, really try and make this round messy, that would be huge, Jake, because their economy is still weak on that CT side. Bear in mind as well, this will be them losing a round off the back of winning the prior one, so the cash will be left in quite a horrific spot. They are being able to trade it back efficiently now. Freiburg's very low, Mertz as well.
That's one of the weapons.
The only one that has the FAMAS goes down. Mertz gets the headshot off. That's not too bad though. All things considered, 2 players only surviving rather than the 3. That works out all right.
Sure. I'm sure Heroic will probably be kicking themselves if they don't actually win that round. You know, you picked up those 2 stolen rifles. You could see S-Tag looking at the M4 dropped on the floor. Dub just sort of thinking about throwing his FAMAS to his teammate and grabbing it, but wouldn't have had time. But here we go. The 30th round here on Inferno. Absolute marathon of a game to kick us off.
Yeah, a long one here. We'll try and see how this will go. If it is going to be shut down in regulation with a win for Heroic, or if HellRaisers can keep it going and move us on over to overtime in our initial map. Bear in mind as well, this is 2 best-of-1s for these 2 sides. They're going to have to play back and back. So the worrying factor is normally if that first game goes to overtime, you do start to see that fatigue hit some of these teams. And Heroic, Jake, they've got to play 4 maps in a row tonight.
Yeah, they've got a long day ahead of them. You really don't want to start off playing 40, 50 rounds if it gets that bad on the first map. And like we said, points come into play. 2 points for an overtime win compared to the 3 from a normal win. They've had a decent amount of rounds to shut this game out here, and they're really going to be hoping they can do it right here, right now. Grouping up towards that B-bomb site once again. And for HellRaisers, they've looked quite strong towards this B-bomb site. Every time Heroic have challenged them, they've got decent trades or just shut them out completely. Here we go, the execute coming in. Once again, they're just going for it. All 5 players.
deadfox towards the site with support of the main man and Hobbit. They need to go huge into this round, but it's only 1 kill found. Freiburg as well catches deadfox off guard there, going for the boost over rather than just running straight ahead in front of first oranges. Angel as well through the smoke. Jake takes a bit of a tagging. Garden's ignited by the Molotov. This is not looking good for HellRaisers so far.
Yeah, much better execute coming in there from Heroic. deadfox didn't really get a chance to link up with Hobbit there. The crossfire wasn't really in play just because Heroic took it so slowly. And here we go. Walkstick coming in with the retake. Picks up 1 frag.
Ooh. The rescue run. Oh.
There you go.
S-Tag in that position, they had no idea. They physically couldn't get a shot off over towards Jenny. He was just able to sit there quite happily. The frags come through. The retake was not meant to be for HellRaisers. And Heroic, they shut it down at the latest possible stage. The 30th round, all 30 rounds played out, but it's good they did win it there.
Yeah,
that
just
means they get the 4 points.
Just toying with everyone's emotions there, you know, themselves included.
Yeah.
But we've seen that execute come in quite a few times that game. And that time they slowed it down. They made sure that once Hobbit got that first kill on boost, they weren't all just flooding in and got mad confusion from the guy on boost, because then that's when deadfox swings out, mows them all down. But he got the first frag, got instantly traded, and deadfox was sort of caught between, do I just face, do I not? And then we saw they just sort of swarmed it.
Yeah. and we're able to catch him off guard. A nice read from Heroic, and you can see as well, it does actually seem like in terms of the takeaways on their CT side Inferno, a lot of it is based off what we do see quite commonly from Astralis in terms of the nade usage, the takes we're seeing coming out as well. So definitely some thought process going into it, because, I mean, if you're going to learn from anyone, why not learn from the best, right?
Exactly. I mean, obviously they have a lot of influence coming in from the best Danish team. You know, you look up to them, and why not? And to be fair, it's working for them. There's a lot of mistakes that they can improve upon, but they look decent here today.
It's definitely improvement as well, because HellRaisers, in terms of recent form, they've actually been going from strength to strength and looking better and better. In terms of Hobbit's debut, though, on this opening game, I think that early T-side that was coming out was a little bit lackluster from him. Not really what we expected to see. However, as the game went on, definitely started to find more of a return to form. There'll be more to come, though, after the break from HellRaisers versus Heroic. Stay tuned for the second map after the break.
ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Intel, Vodafone, The Road to Odense, Betway, MSI, Logitech G, Pay Safeguard, Mountain Dew League, and ESEA.